Hey folks, Gregory Cockery here, NAMM.
Gregory Cockery?
Yes, 2019. Steve Vai, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Cockery?
Long time no see.
Yes, it has been a while.
It has been a while.
But I have been following some of your stuff.
My exploits?
Yes, and you are always kicking butt.
Well, thank you very much.
Kicking Cockery.
See what we did there? Does that sound dirty? Is that weird? I don't even know anymore.
Well, I don't know these days. Anyway, Greg, you haven't heard about this synergy system.
I haven't.
No,
I'm here to get up to speed on the synergism.
Yes, and I'm eager to tell you about it because you know what it's like as a guitarist. You love your instrument and you fetish all the gear, and when something comes along that really works practically and expands your horizons, it's like Christmas.
Indeed.
Yeah, and when I discovered this synergy system, I was like, all right, finally somebody's doing it right. And you know, when as a guitar player, you usually plug into one amplifier.
Right.
You know, and that's it. Maybe it has 3 channels, but they're all kind of carved out of the same ilk.
Right.
And you know that the majority of the sound of an amplifiers are broken down into 2 sections, basically. Your preamp section and the amplifier section.
Right.
But the preamp section is a section that has all of the tone. It's got the gain, it has the quality of the sound, it has the EQs and everything. And it's all tubes. It has its own tube section. They use like 12X tubes, so it's...
Right.
And the sound of tubes, the sound of analog, for me, it's always just different than digital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't usually use digital. I don't use modeling.
Right.
Occasionally in the studio for something.
Exactly.
But on the stage, it never works. Because there's always latency of sorts, you know? And there's always just ones and zeros. It just doesn't, you know?
It doesn't have the air.
It doesn't have the air. And digital air is a little harsh.
Right.
Especially with guitar.
Right.
So that's why I like to stay. And all that sound is in the preamp section. So what Synergy does is they make these modules. And these modules are the actual preamp sections, analog with tubes in them, of various boutique amplifiers and conventional amplifiers that we know and love.
All right.
So they actually license from many of these boutique amplifier companies like Bogner and Egnator, Angle, the actual schematic of the preamp section. Of the preamp section. So, and there's tubes in it. These have tubes. So it's not modeling. It's the actual sound of the amp in that module. And then the other half of an amplifier is the amplifier.
Yeah, power amp section.
That power amp that takes the signal from the preamp and then amplifies it. So if you wanted to have like 5 different sounding amplifiers, you're going to set up 5 different amplifiers.
Right.
But with this system, you've got like this is a deluxe and a twin.
Delish.
And it is, you know, it's. I'll just give you a little bit of the clean channel of the deluxe. It's got that and the bassman. Takes effects really nice because all of these are channeled through one power amp now,
I got you.
You know, and this is a tube power amp. And then that can go, or actually before it goes to this, it goes to my effects. So all these amplifiers can go to your effects rack.
Got it.
And then the output of that goes to the power amp. So you've got this whole world of amplifiers. Right now, I've got in my system just 4 amplifiers, right? I've got an AC, I've got a bassman, a deluxe, and a plexi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, none of them sound like my Legacy, though.
Right.
So they have a loop. So I have my Legacy in there, too. I have 5 amplifiers, 2 channels each, so that's 10 channels, and they're different sounding. And they all just nice and seamlessly go right through the effects loop and then into the power amp. So you get this, let's say, I'll show you the clean channels. So I showed you the bassman and the deluxe. But now an AC has a totally different kind of a clean channel. So you get,
Oh, yeah.
and they're very different,
Right.
you know. I mean, when you're, you know, even just soloing in clean channels. Now, I love my Legacy, but I'm not gonna have that sound right there, because that's the deluxe. And then and the dirty channels are just fantastic. The basement dirty channel is. And then the deluxe it's a lot cleaner. And listen to the bottom, how it.
Yeah, that's a deluxe thing.
That's a deluxe when you crank it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Sounds great.
Yeah, and then the AC. It's totally different, you know?
So for a lot of the amps like the Basement and the AC and the Deluxes, which usually and traditionally have one master volume, do you have the ability to have like a cranked version of that amp and then like a cleaner version of the amp on the same module?
Same module, because, well, take something like some modules actually have, because they're based on the amplifiers, the conventional amplifiers, the classic amps. So like when you have a Plexi, there's 2 channels and you have the bass, mid, treble for 1 channel, same thing, different gains. And of course you can change these.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, and with something like, I'm sorry, I was talking about the Deluxe.
Got it.
Because this is actually a twin. The clean channel is more twinish. You know?
I got you.
But the Plexi shares the bass, because that's what a Plexi does.
Right.
It shares the EQ, but you've got all these gain controls for each channel.
Okay.
So the way I've got the Plexi set up, it's more dirty, even on the clean channel, because I've got all these other clean channels. I don't need it, so and then I can.
Yeah,
that's a Plexi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can go right to my Legacy. So I've got it all.
I can dig it.
Yeah, and they have various kind of permeations of this. This is just the rack system.
Okay.
And over here, if you can see, they offer an actual amp.
Amp that you can.
So you can put a module in it, and it has a clean channel and also a module. And then here's an amp with two modules and a clean channel. And this is really spectacular. This is the Sin 1. This is just one unit. You bring it in the studio, and you put it on the desk, and you know you can use it right in the directly. You can use it direct. It's great to take on the fly, because how can you get an actual analog preamp in China, or something? If I've got to go someplace, I just take this, and it's all analog, and it's got the tone. And then I got to get a power amp, but those are easy to.
Right.
Any power amp works. The tone is not so much in the power amp as it is in the preamp, and so it's really and I'm doing this because I'm really excited about it as a guitar player.
Right.
And sure, I'm endorsing the company and all, but this is such a great piece of gear.
Yeah.
It's just expansive, and I love the name Synergy because it brings. Now I'm not, I was using Carvin, my Legacy,
right,
and kind of, they've kind of slowed down a bit. So, what amp was I going to use? I had everybody from around the world sending me amps.
Sure.
And I'm like, what am I going to use? what one amp am I going to use?
Right,
You
and
know?
now you've got a
And now
multitudinous...
this came, and I'm like, these are all the best of the amps that I would use.
Right.
All of them right here. So I got it all, and I'm working with all the companies. And more companies are coming on board that are licensing the technology to Synergy to make these modules.
Just module, I get it.
And I'm working on a Signature Series module with them now.
Awesome.
So yeah, you got to check it out, Greg. I know
will
you'll
and do
love
it.
it, man.
It sounds magnificent. This thing is cool too. For
Yeah, that's
for the
really
throw and go.
The
I'm
throw
going to
and go.
Jamaica at the end of February and playing down there. I need something like this. 'Cause they
Well,
don't-
you just grab this, and you got the mic. You have the preamp section of any of these amps that are the modules. And then you got to get a power amp.
Right. That's the least of my worries.
Yes, that's easy.
Well, thanks so much for taking
Thank
time.
you. It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And you sound great as always. It's good to see you up close too. I can steal some stuff. Is that wrong?
I could be as close up to you watching you, and I could never steal with
Malarkey!
He's a freak.
But I appreciate that kind of positive reinforcement.
It's
No, listen,
true.
Great to see you as
Yeah,
always.
man. Good to see you.
For our friends at Wildwood Guitars, I'm Gregory Cockery here with Steve Vai with Synergy. NAMM 2019. Adios.
Right on.